Hey guys, at JJ Coda here, just doing a smaller loan roundup as we have had some midweek games that have come through, and a lot of the players haven't played, but there have been a fair few that have as well. So I thought it was a good opportunity to do a roundup on them, see how it's going, and to be fair, actually, quite surprising. There is a lot there that you wouldn't have expected, particularly from the last roundup. So, it's actually been good. So let's get into it. So obviously I'm going to start with, quite a surprising one really in Ashley Phillips. I must admit, I said in my last piece that I didn't think that was going to work. It had seemed to have gone horribly wrong, and it was a shame because of how well he had done in his previous spell at Stoke. But credit to him, he's continued to work hard, and he started, and not only did he start, kept a clean sheet at Middlesbrough, team top of the championship. So that is a really good performance, and hopefully one that will now be ongoing. I think if you've been able to help keep a clean sheet, particularly against a team flying like Middlesbrough are, that you should be able to then build on that. So let's see with it. We're still in the same boat with Jamie Donnelly, again unused. Clearly is just not going to work, and I think in January we'll go off somewhere else, hopefully abroad. Particularly in German league, we tend to find that players, as we're seeing with Vuskovic, do well out there. So I think he needs to move, and fingers crossed he'll get it. As soon as that January window opens, because clearly there's just not going to be the opportunity to show Mark Robins at Stoke what he can do. Real shame. Then you go on to Will Lancashire. A tough game for him, because obviously they were away to QPR, but he played 69 minutes, got a couple of shots in a 0-0 draw for them. So hopefully, again, he can continue to keep building, get back into the goals, and show that he can be a real success, which I believe he will be. I think for me, the idea hopefully is that this turns out to be a successful loan, and then he comes back to Tottenham as one of the options for us, along with Solanke and somebody else. Probably not Richarlison, I would have thought, but we'll see with regards to that. We then had Alfie Devine again at Preston. A bit of a theme here in terms of draws. He played 71 minutes of their 2-2 draw with Hull. Had 4 shots and seems to be settling in quite nicely there. Whether it be they then potentially buy him, or whether we then use that as an opportunity to integrate him, or sell him on elsewhere. I think one of the things that we do potentially lack is the ability to, even if players aren't going to make it with us, to sell them on and get a decent value. We see Chelsea do it all the time. I do feel that Devine, he's going to I feel fit into that situation where there's been multiple loans, and unless he's going to do something spectacular at Preston, I do feel that that's an opportunity for Spurs to cash in, and get some money back. But, a good performance there. So hopefully something that will just continue to build. And then another surprising one in Yang Ning Hyuk. Obviously I know that he got some minutes in his previous game, which was a bit of a shock. But he played a fair chunk of the game for Portsmouth in their 2-2 draw. Had 4 shots and scored the first goal. A really nice take and volley from sort of out close to outside the box. And played really well in that game. So hopefully that will be something that we will see, as we have done, continue to build from there. So fingers crossed, that he continues to build, gets more goals, and then, he is a left-sided attacker, so you never know. He could be the long-term solution or long-term option if Tottenham decide to give that opportunity, because I think, as we're seeing at the moment with what we have on the left, it's just not working. So, it's good that he is in a position where he has an option potentially come back to Spurs if he can continue building at Portsmouth. And have a really good season, then maybe it is an option to bring him back. One that I didn't mention last time, but I'd seen, so I wanted to mention it this time, was Manor Solomon. He didn't play for Villarreal in the Champions League. He got a special time off with regards to not playing that game. So the hope is obviously he'll get minutes in the next game, and fingers crossed he's had a decent start, there, and hopefully that will then, I don't see a future at him for Spurs, but I hope that he can continue to build and we can get some money back with regards to it. I think this is something where Tottenham, with these loans, rather than just keep loaning them out for the sake of it, I think we need to get better. As I mentioned earlier, we need to get better at him, Devine, possibly Phillips as well. I don't see having longer term futures at the club. Donnelly will have to wait and see on, but he, fingers crossed that works on. And then another success in Tyrese Hall, scored the winner for Notts County against Barnsley in the 89th minute. Had 3 shots, and again he's just doing really, really well. Seems to be following a similar pattern to George Abbott, and I think Notts County seems to be a good place for us to be sending players, on loan that they will get minutes from. So I think we might see that with some of our other younger players in the future, sort of a progression path going to Notts County and then building on from there. So that's a really good loan. Seems to be working well with regards to that. So hopefully we'll continue to build. We do have a couple more tonight, hopefully, particularly in the Europa League and Europa Conference League. We've got Mikey Moore playing for Rangers tonight, and then you've got Alfie Devine playing for Aberdeen. So I will add them into the next loan roundup, which will be next week, because we've then got our final set of fixtures before the international break. So as I said, most of the players that were available, over the midweek, either are going to get or got some good minutes there, and there were some really good performances. So hopefully there are either going to be opportunities for Spurs going forward, or we can sell on and get some good money from them. So we'll see how they get on. There'll be another one of these roundups done next week, so let me know what you think, and I will catch up with you soon. Thank you. Take care.